Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this Friday night here at the Inner Circle. And it's book week, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 5. We've had some amazing speakers, incredible speakers. And the first thing is, what are you doing here watching this on a Friday night? That's what I've got to say. But no, it's great. You can watch it on catch up. You can watch it when convenient. And we've got a fabulous guy, a real friend of the Inner Circle. Oh, Mr. Neil Eastwood. Neil, let me bring you in. There he is. We're laughing because we've had some real technical problems tonight. Hey,
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, all good. Thank you. Yeah, it's
all right.
Yeah, very, very busy, as you might imagine nowadays. So, really pleased to be here. Thanks for inviting me along. It's been a great week, and so I'm glad to nearly bookend it. Not quite on a Friday.
Nearly. We've got Sophie tomorrow, and of course, last night we had the character that is Big Ian. We've all spoke. Thing about Big Ian is you do not want to follow him.
Which is exactly what's happening.
But no, great to see you, mate. My God, mate, the last time, well, I've seen you speak many a time, and my God, mate, you're doing some amazing stuff, and we're going to get into that because it was not, Care Friends, etc., the new app and all the rest of it. But I saw, just at the Inner Circle now, I saw Neil speak about 3 years, maybe even 3.5 years ago now, and he very kindly came up and spoke at our very first Care Managers Inner Circle in sunny Southport, and some of the stuff really resonated with me. And but mate, lovely to see you. And what a crisis we're in at the moment.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I mean, I've never known anything like it, really. And when you kind of layer up all of the challenges, and I think we went into COVID in a poor state of health in the first place, and then probably as far as recruitment and retention is concerned, things were better from a retention point of view during COVID, but we've come out of that into all sorts of issues and problems, and some are caused by COVID, others caused by Brexit, and all of these other issues. It's a real mess at the moment if you're out there trying to recruit and keep your staff, and the two things are obviously very connected.
Yeah. Likewise, as a care provider myself with 2 homes, over COVID wasn't so much of an issue. Everyone was sort of hunkered down, apart from when they clearly had COVID, and we're trying to struggle with that. But it's a real issue now, and of course this whole mandatory double vaccination has only compounded stuff. The issue I have personally is the fact that if you're going to do that social care, then do it to NHS and have a level playing field. Don't open one door and hoover all the potential members of staff into another organisation. That's what I find particularly unfair.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've also got obviously the social care workforce are not unaware of the pay negotiations going on with the NHS too, on top of everything else. So you're completely right. It needs to be across every setting, doesn't it? Every healthcare setting, so we all feel that it's a level playing field. So yeah, it's tough times.
But Neil, and so for those who might not be familiar with Neil, so Neil's book, Saving Social Care, at its time, it was way ahead of its time, I've got to say, because I remember you coming to the show that we had for the Inner Circle, and I remember you just saying, this about retaining people. You had some lovely little anecdotes which I just thought were beautiful, and still to this day I've used those. But you were talking my language, you were talking, I thought, oh my God, this is, and even now I see people, how they recruit, it's just so dated. I just think, you're not, it's not, I mean, my thing is, create a tribe, it's not a family, it's more than that. It's you create a tribe, with tribal, and people want to feel belonged, of not just a family, but something a lot closer than that, which is tribal almost, deeply cultural. So tell me about the, so saving social care, for those who might not be familiar with it.
Well, yeah, so the book came about. It was a long gestation. It took about 8 years of looking at sort of different challenges in recruitment and retention, and realizing that I had so much evidence from around the world. And this is talking to managers like you. Everyone's got their own ideas, tips, and tricks. You don't realize that you've got something that no one else knows. So I went around like hoovering all of this up and thought, what am I going to do with it all? So I was presenting. And often you only get 20 minutes to present or an hour tops. And I could not get all the information out in time. So someone said to me, a care provider said, oh, you should write a book. And I thought, do you know what? That's the only way of getting all of this out there in a way of, otherwise it's just going to be, never going to see the light of day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they say the most expensive and valuable place is a graveyard, isn't it? All those lost ideas, and but you haven't done that. Yeah, that's you've captured it, and that's why the Inner Circle, we love books. We absolutely love books. You've got almost like this distilled nuggets of information from great minds like yourself. Someone's taken all that time to hoover all the best bits. My God, of course you're going to read it. You can read every word. But some of the stuff I just thought was brilliant. And this.
Yeah, it's well, in terms of reading it, when the book came out, people said, I'd love to read your book now, but I'm so busy. But back then, I guess people were driving to work and so on. They said, can you do an audio book? So I thought, okay, I'll do that. So I did an audio book. So there's a Kindle and audio book and the paperback version. And then I created a course, which we may talk about, based on all of that, which is on a learning management platform. So it's just trying to give people different ways of consuming the information. So yeah, it's still people are. It's a small group of people that it's really resonated with. I think people who've got that problem of recruitment, and goodness knows how many thousand there are in social care in the UK. But I think we probably all felt, as recruiters, we didn't. There's a lot of academic papers, but where's the practical kind of on the ground stuff? So that's what I tried to create.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, again, I can only speak from a personal basis. Of course, my background is ex-forces, and one of the most important things that you can give to your troops, your men, your women around you, is this feeling, almost like this comfort blanket, this security blanket of security. That you're in an organization that genuinely cares for you. It's not a cosmetic thing. It deeply cares for you, and it wants to do the right thing for you, and not about retention. That's a byproduct. It's about just doing the right thing for gorgeous people, amazing people who are all completely different. One size does not fit all. You've got to get to know them. You've got to you get what makes them tick. And that's what I love. I love that about the job. I love that about leadership. It's and that's why this whole sort of creates not just a family. It's not a collection of colleagues or friends. It's not it's tribe. It's tribal, which I love.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think an extra challenge for us, and probably this would be the case in the army, is you can't just look at a CV and think, oh well, we'll select this person versus that person, because it's about what's inside. And that isn't on a CV. And even if you see somebody who's perhaps, job hopped, well, they could be perfect. They just haven't found their calling yet. And so, the usual methods of recruitment are structured around a CV and an application form. And we just miss all of that backstory, the fact that they've cared for a loved one, the fact that, they have a brother or sister with a disability, something that's going to make them blossom in our sector. And it's always fun when you talk to people. Everyone's had their own kind of trajectory into the sector. It's not always an obvious destination when you start out in life, is it? But people love it when they arrive. So I think that whole place is a bit of a tribe.
The things which and again, there's loads of bits in the book, and also just hearing you speak, which I recall. But the ones which really resonate, and I took that away and remember saying these to my team. The first one is this concept of active and passive job market. You've got the active, frogs on lily pads who are continually looking. They're actively looking. And then there's the passive ones who actually, you want to be attracting the passive ones because they're the stayers. They're the ones who aren't actively looking, but they just need a little bit of a nudge. They just need the opportunity. The other one was which is your door slamming analogy, which is just beautiful. And for all of those who have no idea what I'm talking about, Neil, I remember on stage, and he said, if you depart, or if you deal with departed staff by slamming the door so hard on their arse that they end up on the other side of the car park, then that's not the way to do it. And I remember thinking, oh my God, because I remember what it resonated was because that was my mum. If you ever, my mum looked after Berkeley Park. I love my mum dearly, but I remember the dark days. If you ever resigned, oh my God, you're a pariah. How dare you? How dare you have another life? How dare you move on and develop yourself? And I thought that was, and the other one, which I must finally share, is this idea. If you're still in this idea that you must have CVs and you must fill out great big forms and it must be paper driven and you must come in and fill out this paperwork, then you're going to lose so many staff, because it's got to be instantaneous. And my mantra, as I'm sure you've seen on Facebook and LinkedIn, is we don't do interviews and we don't do CVs. And I get so many people who go, how do you recruit? Well, of course we interview them, but I'm walking around with them. And we don't do CVs because I never request them. But of course there's an application. There's an application form because there's some data that we need to get. But it's really super simple. So they're my three things which I've always taken away from you, mate.
And I think that it's very difficult to. I feel for recruiters in social care, because often it's one of the jobs that they have to do, and they're up against other recruiters and other sectors that are also recruiting. And then the classic one now is hospitality, where they can be on it. They're going to call people in the first 30 seconds that they hear from them, and you can't compete. If you're busy doing something else. But you're right. The real secret to this is the people that, while we're recording this, are walking past your care home, or are walking past my house, and if only we could stop them and say, hey, have you thought about a role in social care? They would be perfect for it. And that's the frustration, is that all of these people are out in the local community, and we just need to reach those people where it's going, that our message will resonate.
Well, to give you, just to support you in that, I mean, you've got an ex-army soldier, who is now running 2 care homes. I never thought in a million years, mate, I would ever be in that sector. And here I am. And I've got to say, as much as I loved operations, as much as I loved the army, this is my absolute calling. And I get so many friends on Facebook and LinkedIn saying, Johnny, we can't believe you've gone from those soldiering days of in tanks and fixed bayonets and stuff. And now, mate, you're in with ukulele. You really can't sing. You really can't play the ukulele. But my God, you genuinely love those people, don't you? I'm going, mate, this is what I do. I love it. And so I couldn't agree more. There's other Johnnies out there who are doing stuff, and they just got to come into this warm world of social care and go, wow, this is, where have you been all my life?
I did a piece of work some years ago asking registered managers to think of their who would you like to clone? Pick one person that you would like 10 more of. Minibus pulls up outside the care home and there's 10 of those people in it, and they're saying, what do you want me to do? That's the dream for everybody. And so what can you learn from that person? And one of the things we said, was the homework I gave them was to go and ask them what was the trigger for them coming into the sector. I mean, you've had your own experiences of how you've ended up there. My father was a vicar, so I started in social care in the 70s. Because that was an expectation. But when you look at it, there's all sorts of different reasons why we all end up here. And I think it's just sort of a wonderful collection of people that are driven by values, by, circumstances. And then it's very difficult to leave, I think, because other sectors that I've worked in before were quite cutthroat. People were thinking of themselves, whereas this whole sector is about other people and making other people's lives better. And so it's a very, it's hard to walk away from, I think.
It is. No, you mentioned before about the other platforms you've got, because I know you did some work, because I know, tell us about the Care Friends, and then there's that other platform as well, which you you've made available to people?
Yeah, so there's a few things I've been doing since. So obviously the book came out first, and that's came out in various formats. And then after that, I decided to create a video-based training course for in-house social care recruiters. And that's at findandkeepthebest.com. And that's called a recruitment masterclass. And that was a paid-for course. And then I saw what was happening with recruitment and retention in the last month or so, and was so horrified. I decided I'd just let that make it free. So just wrote off the cost and just issued it and announced it last a week or so ago, Monday, and we've got over 1,200 recruiters who signed up for that in the last couple of weeks.
I mean, you're being very modest, mate, because I know the cost. And it was a significant cost, a fantastic investment, I've got to say, and well worth every bit of value. But it was a significant investment for an organization and many people. But you've made that completely free. And for everyone watching tonight and on catch up, please, make use of Neil's generosity here, because it is, so it's findandkeepthebest.com. Is that right, mate?
That is correct. Yeah, and you just go on there and enroll, and it's it's completely free, and it remembers where you are, so you know where your progress is. And it's got a whole curriculum, and all the videos are very short, so usually a few minutes long, so you can grab some information and use it in your day-to-day job, and you don't have to have long periods of time at it. So that's the idea of findandkeepthebest.com. Yeah. Good
on you, mate. And right, you got to tell us about Care Friends, because that is just the best idea ever.
so Care Friends was really that came about in probably 3 years ago, kind of today-ish, towards the end of August 2018. I finally came up with the idea and thought, well, employee referrals are clearly the best source of staff, and that always around the world, always the best source. But it's the employee referral scheme was like a dribble of people, and it was really hard. And then the recruiters were forgetting to make the payments. People got fed up. Some people even left, and they were, they'd recommended their friends. This whole thing was so broken. So I thought, what if we used gamification? What if we got an app? What if we digitized the process and removed all the friction from it and gave kind of points instead of money? It became money, but a point is £1. And we gave a little bit of that early at risk. What would happen? And so it's been really a roller coaster. So we launched with Skills for Care. They partnered with us. We launched in June 2020. And so far, we've got about 22,000 app users, Australia, here, the US, and US, is coming up in the autumn. And one of the things I'm most proud of is that we are at the moment we've gone past £750,000 that care workers have earned on the app in points. More money for care staff is a good. So I'm really pleased about that. So,
and is that, sorry to interrupt, is that based on referral? Is that based on, if I've got mates, I haven't got many mates, but if I had mates, I would invite my mate Neil in, because he's on my Facebook profile. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how it works. So there's two ways of earning points on the app. The main one is that you might, on your app, have a job, a care assistant at your home, and you would then share it with me directly on a text, because you think, oh, Neil's a good guy, but he's working in Londis, he's wasting himself, right? So you send me a message, and I see this link to the job. I tap on that, it appears on my phone, job ad. If I say I'm interested, send that off, you'll get points. So it'll say, oh, good news, your friend Neil's inquired, here, have 3 points, £3 or whatever the employer chooses. And then it goes through. If I have a successful interview, you get a little reward. And then if I start work, of course, you get most of your reward, and then you get some after 3 months. And what we've done as well, which I'm particularly keen on, is there's a bonus if you're new to care. So if you recruited me new to care, you've added capacity to the workforce in social care. You're not just moved me from a care home down the road. So you get more points because you have contributed to growing the workforce in social care. That's the way it works.
Brilliant. I don't know how I think your imagination, your innovation is just insane, mate. I think that is just, most people might have ideas, but I mean, you've taken it to a new level there. And that's and we've got the link is there. So for people interested, and just to go and have a look at it, carefriends.co.uk, and also while it's on the same screen there, for Neil's book as well, because it is book week. It is Saving Social Care. He doesn't go to that horrible Amazon. It's not on Amazon.
It's everywhere, but you can you can get it from if you hear me speak, I usually carry a box of books around, so come and get one from me if you see me speak. And obviously it's an audio book as well if people prefer that format. And all of the author royalties go to the Care Workers charity, so I don't make a penny out of the book. Just wanted really to get the word out and about all the tips and tricks that I've learned that I think should really get a proper airing out there. So I'm really pleased. It's certainly helped a lot of people, it seems.
Yeah, and I think you just get the juices flowing in terms of how can we do stuff differently. And I'm like no differently. I see some ads and I just go, oh my god, I just want to write your ad for you, or just make it so. Great big pages of the candidate we seek is the following, but they will have the following characteristics, and it's just page after page after page. I think, oh my god, you're really not selling it. Your tribe. So now, mate, talking about the Care Managers Inner Circle, we've got our annual conference at the Care Show on the 13th and 14th of October. I know Neil is going to be there speaking. And many other fabulous speakers as well, but please come and see Neil. We'll be on C52. I know he'll be around the show. So which days are you speaking on, Neil?
I'm presenting the Leaders in Care Awards in the evening of day one.
Right, yeah.
And then I am on a panel. I'm chairing a panel on day two about 1:30, 1:45, something like that in the afternoon. Right. So I'm around kind of on day one, and then I'm appearing in the evening comparing, which will be interesting to see how I get on there.
That is great. Have you got a guitar?
No, I thought I should probably subcontract that out. So if you're around, do come on stage.
Oh no, you don't want me, mate. But I know a big guy. I know a big guy. You might be able to
probably help me out. Yeah. So. I'm looking forward to that, and it's so good to get everyone back together again. I think so. It's going to be.
It is. And I've got to say, just for our own little inner circle plug, look, if you register, registration is free. Then please register on the Care Show /visit _ circle, and it means then there's a special registration for you. It's Inner Circle, and then you can come over to C52 is going to be a very different stand. That's all I'm going to say. It's a very, very different stand, which is in the design process at the moment, and it's going to look spectacular. Look, Neil, mate, great to see you. Thanks for persevering with probably my technical problems rather than yours. But I look forward to seeing you at the Care Show. Please, everyone, get on to Neil's website. Saving Social Care. We've got Care Friends and also savingsocialcare.com. Well, look, Neil, great to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on a Friday night, you loon. We love it in a circle. We don't need booze. We don't need Friday nights. We're in here talking about books, which is good. And thank you for everyone for joining me. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, many thanks for being here for the Inner Circle. Day 5, we've got Sophie tomorrow, who's going to certainly wrap up a fantastic week of books and incredible inspirational authors. We'll see you very soon, and bye for now.